Welcome back to Digital Rewind. This is another episode where I go over things that I found at an auction or a flea market or at a garage sale. I haven't been to any garage sales yet in 2026. The weather has not been the greatest for that yet, but hopefully in the end of April or May that'll start happening. What I have here is from an auction specifically. I paid $75 for 75 cars. I'll put up the picture that was in the listing. I could tell kind of right from the beginning that the cars themselves were in good shape, and they looked like they're from like the late 80s, early 90s. I didn't have a ton of time to research them all, but they, like I said, they looked good and they looked pretty old. When I went to the auction house to pick them up, I guess the auctioneer, the guy or whoever was working for them, opened the door of this warehouse, and when I gave him my name, he just held out like this grocery bag, like the reusable grocery bag. And I could hear like when you hear like a kid's bin of Hot Wheels cars, it's like he just like held out the bag and was just like, and I was like, oh, they're all in there. Fortunately, they must have just put them in there and hadn't shaken them around too much, because I don't think any more damage was done to these cars. Also, my desk is super slanted. I cut a section out of it to mount a few things on it, and it just kind of ruined the structural integrity of it. So it's like if something rolls away, it's not the whole house, it's just this desk. All right, here we go. We're starting with the Hot Wheels workhorses. All of these models are from around 1985 to 1990. And I'm going to say this 100 times, but I could not believe the condition of these things when I picked them up. So the first one up is the Peterbilt cement mixer. This one has a tiny little nick on the one mirror. But other than that, it's essentially perfect. And then next up, we've got this early Good Humor truck. This is not the first release, the very first release. I believe these lines were blue. So the next one up is the Rescue Ranger. Over the years, this has been released in a whole bunch of different colors and variations. And then we've got the Cat Bulldozer. So all of these yellow ones here, I think, are branded as Cat machines. And then we've got the dump truck. And usually these things are absolutely beat, which is fine to see. Kids took them out in the sand, in the dirt, in the backyard, and did all kinds of stuff with them that scratched them up. And that's totally fine. And then we've got the ambulance here, literally just called ambulance. I know this video is a little more long-winded than other ones, but there's a lot here. Now this one's called the Cat Road Roller. Now it doesn't pivot or anything, it's just locked off. It's just one piece. This is the forklift, the Cat forklift. A lot of times the roof is missing, which I thought it was at first. And then when I took all the cars out and there were some plastic pieces in the bottom of the bag, I dumped that bag out and the roof was in there. So I was like, woo, sweet. And then this one's super cool. This one's called the Rig Wrecker. And it's really, really clean. This one looks really nice. We've got the Earth Mover. This one was kind of funny for me. I was like, okay, well, it's just literally just doesn't really have moving parts beyond the wheels. So it is just a cool construction piece. And then I've got I have two ambulances. That does count as one of the 75. So it's like, I didn't put it here, but I have two identical ambulances. And I have two of these identical wheel loaders here. They are both in really nice condition. And then lastly, for the workhorses, is the Shell tank truck. And this thing's heavy. But as with the other ones, it's like mint. So essentially, like if I were to sell these cars each, these are not overly expensive cars. Like some of them, they might be a few dollars. Some of them maybe $5 to $10. They're all essentially mint condition, so someone may pay a little bit more because of that, but still they're not overly valuable. I mean, you're still talking about almost $100 worth of cars there. All right, we're going to move on to the next group. Okay, before I actually get into a whole group of cars, this one is really cool. A Ford Aerostar, which I think is totally unexpected and awesome. I have no memory of these. So it's got all four wheels, which you could actually remove them. And it had a track system that you could make it like a tank, which it didn't come with that, but that's okay because at least I have all four wheels. I'm going to show it here. I love this thing. It only came out for 1 year. I would put the value at this Canadian dollars. I would probably put this up for sale for around $30. Moving on. Okay, next up here we have the California Custom cars. These were released only in 1990 and 1991. They had these fluorescent colors and kind of over-the-top wheels. Not sure if that's going to show up on that camera there. While I do own a lot of Hot Wheels cars, I didn't know anything about these before buying this lot. And there is some range in value for some of these. So this first one is called the Street Roader. Not particularly super expensive. I'd put in the $15 to $20 range in its condition. Anyway, okay, so the next one, this one's really cool. This is a Porsche 911, and it's got these, I showed it already, but it's got these cool kind of chrome, very 80s, 90s wheels. And it was released in essentially two colors, three variations. So there are two versions of this pink one. The pink one had two different wheel types. And then there was a purpley pink kind of metallic one. This one definitely has value. This may be one of the most expensive ones, if not the most expensive one from this pack. Really, really cool, unique, and I'd say considerably rare Porsche. Anyway, okay, moving on to the next one. We got our classic Cobra. Also, I love that these have the metal bases. I love the old cars with the metal bases. They just feel nice and solid and weighty. This thing's showing up on camera. That is neon. It's like a fluorescent yellow color. I have a bunch of these that I used to play with all the time. I had like a red one and like a, not metallic, but like a chrome bluey teal one that I played with a lot. Loved these. This one's got the same wheels as the Porsche. It's a 3-window, I think it's a 34. Yeah, 3-window 34. Also in that fluorescent yellow-green color with the blue fenders there. I don't know what to say about that other than the fact that it's also in really great shape. Looks really cool. This one has a nick on the hood. It's called the Camaro Wind. So it is a Camaro, but it's got this kind of like funky race spoiler on the back, an exposed engine. It's just this kind of custom Camaro. It's wider and bigger than other Camaros that I've seen, like the blown Camaro and stuff like that. It's a cool car. It's not my like style or what I would typically collect, but it's still really neat. So those are the California custom cars that were in this set from 1990. 3 of them from 1990 and 2 of them from 1991. And then the series was toast. All right, moving on to the next group. All right, we got 3 classics here. Spoiler, I don't actually know if this Auburn is part of like a classics line. It could just be like a mainline blue card Auburn. But I'm still putting it in with these just to kind of get that out of the way. The first one here is from 1988. It's the Mercedes 540K. It's got this beautiful black paint. It's perfect. I'll say it over and over and over again. I'd say this is a $20 car. If I'm way off, by the way, be like, this guy is out to lunch. It's hard because these aren't carded, these aren't sealed, but they are in perfect condition. So $15, $20 car. My dad has a million variations of this in his basement. It's the 1965 Mustang convertible. This is the classic teal one. It's got the opening hood, which they, I think, took away in later years. And a lot of times this windshield broke off. And then lastly, there's this Auburn 852. Now, or 852, 852. So there, I did have a red one of these when I was a kid, and I still have it somewhere, but it's got black fenders. So this is the first time I've seen the one with the red fenders. So pricing, yeah, like I'd say this would be like $15 to $20. This is like a few dollars. This is like a $3 to $5 car. There were a million of them. This is probably a $5 to $10 car. There are a lot of these out there, but it is nice seeing them in such good shape. Okay, what we have here is a short-lived series, and by short-lived I mean they only released 8 of these before they canceled it. There were 4 more planned, and actually on the back of the packaging for these cars shows the other 4 cars. It's the convertible series, and essentially it's a color-changing car that also, when dipped in hot water, they had these parts of them, trunk lids, engine components, roof. It would move because there's like a little coil inside that it would expand with the heat, and it would make those parts move. I had never really seen this done with a Hot Wheels car. I didn't really know these things even existed. First one here is called Crunch Chief. I'm just flying through them. This one is called Double Duty. It's basically the blown Camaro with some alterations to it. This one's like a T-Bird, by the way. This one's like a T-Bird. It's called Very Cool. It is pretty cool, I guess. This one is thoughtfully called Pickup Truck. Probably because the roof would be picked up, which I don't think that's working anymore. I don't know if that's supposed to go down. And then Shiftin' 50s. It's a 57 Chevy. This one's Fab Cab. It's kind of cool. It says taxi when it changes to yellow in the hot water. This one's Engineer. The roof lifts up and there's a big engine piece that comes out of there. So I have no idea where you'd sit in this thing. Little VW. And then lastly, we've got like our Monte Carlo. It's called Shift Kicker. So it had like a trunk lid that would pop up. That part's missing, and then it's got a hood piece that pops up as well. These are all in excellent shape, minus a couple missing little pieces. Just 2, I think. I'd say these are like $10 each. Like if I were to list these, I might list all of them for $50 or $60. That's great. So next up here, we've got kind of the mainline cars. Most of these are like 1987 to 90, 91. The first one here is a purple Shadow Jet. That is from 1991. This was released in a whole bunch of different variations over the years. The next one is this really nice little Golf GTI. Really clean. I think I have this one in like a metallic pink. And maybe another one in different colors. I'll have to look, but I think this is the first one I have that actually has that VW white line with the GTI on there. And then we've got the Mazda Miata. Now, this one, I will point this one out. I think this one's quite valuable only because this was released in 1991 and it had that Miata logo on the hood. I don't know if it's going to show up well there, but that was typically it. It looked like that on the hood and then that on the side, both sides. This version happens to have this kind of swirly paint splash. From what I've seen, that's considerably more rare. And so that puts the value higher. So realistically, this could be most of the value of everything I bought just in this one car. This one's also from 1991. It's called Speed Shark. I don't know a lot about these. I think there are a bunch of them over the years they released. Not really my thing, but it's in good shape. I think this is 1987. It's a Blazer, Chevy Blazer 4x4. I really like the color scheme on this. I have a whole bunch of these actually. I think I have like a light blue one, and then there's one with like a football on it. And yeah, I definitely have a bunch of these from over the years. I do like that this one's got the nice treaded tires on it. It's in really nice shape too. And then we've got the Renault 5 Turbo. I've actually got this one in the package, which I almost opened, and I'm glad I didn't because now I haven't opened one. And then we've got Purple Passion here. I think this is a first year or a second year. I can't remember if this was like the new model. There were like variations of it. But this is the one that has like the kind of scallops or whatever they called them on the hood. Okay, then we've got the Suzuki Quad Racer here. I have a yellow one and a white one of this already. As long as you don't bend the axles, they all just kind of look this good. They're just plastic up here, no paint, so it doesn't really, they don't really ever look bad. But this one looks good. And then we've got this Jeep here. It's called Trail Buster. It's this cool, like, also kind of like the California Customs. It's just this like cool neon colors and splashes. It almost gives me like Barbie vibes, but still looks really, really cool. It's a really nice condition. And then we've got one that I do have another one of, but I think the ramp was kind of broken. This is the Ramp Truck. It's really clean. The ramp works. It holds a Miata. Now this one I played with so many times. I have this car exactly as it is, but it is scratched up, and I have a all black metallic one. I don't know if I have some other colors, but when I saw this one in that first picture, I was like, oh, that alone, it's not worth a lot. I'd say this is like a $5 car at best. But I was like, that's a memory right there. Actually, I'm going to skip this one for a second because same with this. I played with this limousine a lot. And I scratched all the printing off of the side just so it was pure white. I think at the time I thought that was cooler. But as an adult, I was like, no, I want that back. So I saw this in the picture, I was like, that's cool too. So this one's a Peugeot 405. I'd never seen this thing before. This is like a $5 to $10 car as well. There's nothing especially special about it other than the fact that I had never seen one. It's very light. But again, it's very clean. Wheels look nice. It's a cool little sedan. Okay, well, now we're going to go over to this Rolls-Royce Phantom 2. It's a shame because this one is missing the roof. I have another one of these, exactly the same, but it's also missing the roof too. So I think it was common for this one to lose it, which kind of sucks. But everything else is in great shape. Still a really cool car. And then we've got the 37 Bugatti in a beautiful yellow. The wheels are in great shape. The car is in great shape. I think, again, like most of these are like $5 cars. This one might be a bit more, the 4x4 and the Miata, but most of these are pretty accessible, I'd say. And then we've got the 35 Classic Caddy. I have one of these as well. This one's, maybe I need to clean it. It might have a couple little scratches or just dirt or something, but still overall really, really nice. And then another standout at the end here is this Bywayman. It's an old Chevy with like off-road tires. It's lifted. Really cool eagle print on the side. I'm starting to lose my voice here. We'll get through this. We'll get through it. Just stick with me here. So this one is probably like a $40 or $50 car. That's what I would ask for it. Would I get that? Maybe not, but it's really, really nice and it's really clean. And very collectible. The decals or decals or however you say it, the printing on the side looks really good. A lot of the ones that I've seen for sale, these lights have been broken off. This one's just too nice to just let go of. And I've never owned this one before. I had never seen that variation before. Before I put these all away, I'm just going to grab out two more. It's the T-Bird 57 T-Bird and the 63 split window Corvette. These ones are McDonald's ones. So while they're not really like mainline Hot Wheels or buy them at the store Hot Wheels, you'd get these like with your Happy Meal or whatever. I have this one already. It's kind of scratched up, and I also have a teal version of this one as well. These are both from 1991. They have plastic bottoms. They're like this bluey white gray kind of base. They're a little bit lighter, but still really cool paint, really unique. And I so wish that Hot Wheels would release cars with Happy Meals again, because I don't care how old you are, I will totally eat a Happy Meal to have a new Hot Wheels car, McDonald's Hot Wheels car. That would be the coolest. All the stuff they've been releasing with their Happy Meal toys, for the most part, it's just like you throw it away. Hot Wheels cars would be really cool. And then another straggler. This is kind of like a mainline. Could be a workhorse, or it could be, I don't really know. They released it 500 times. Is this Fire Eater fire engine? I have probably half a dozen of these, and they are all completely destroyed, or the axles have been bent. I played with these things like crazy. So it's good to see one that's not completely mashed. I think I have a chrome one and a yellow one. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of different ones. Anyway, I'm going to move these and move on. We're getting there. So before I jump into these Speed Demons one, I'll just point out this one. This is from a line called Power Command. I, again, didn't know anything about these ones. It's a 57 Chevy, and it's basically like those wind-up cars. It's got a metal base. It's a plastic body, probably to keep it light and cheaper, because it's got the mechanism. And it's in really good shape too. I don't think this was played with. You can especially tell when they're not played with because the bases haven't been like discolored. Like, they're very clean. And a lot of times you see these for sale with this piece missing off of the spoiler is missing off of the bracket. So the fact that this one's all together, I think it's pretty cool. It's the only one I've ever owned, the only one I have. Okay, Speed Demons. This is a line that I never really had an interest in as a kid. The first one is Zombot. This one's from 1987. It's like this robot with a pink weapon of some kind, and he can like stand up. And then we've got Fangster. I had this one. This is just a metal base, but plastic body, so they tend to not ever really wear out. They always kind of stay in good shape. It's like a crocodile, alligator, whatever. This one's Double Demon, so it's like a dragon, but it's like the same on both sides. One end's a little bit higher, probably so the drivers can see where they're going from those windows there. And then we've got Cargoyle. It's a gargoyle, but it's a car. It's this nice orange color. He's sitting there. And then we've got Evil Weevil. It's like a scorpion sort of thing, this yellow scorpion. Zombot could be $5 to $10. These could be a couple dollars, but nothing crazy. Okay, so next we've got some cars from the Speed Fleet series. First one is Formula Fever. I have this one somewhere downstairs. It's a little more scratched up than this one, but still in pretty good shape. This one's not really bent up. Still rolls nice. This one's a 31 doozy, and it is quite a doozy. It's a good looking car. This one I'd say, even though it's pretty common, it's still like a $15, $20, maybe even $20 car, $25 car if you're lucky. Especially because it is in such good condition. Now this Shadow Jet, this yellow one, this was the new model. Like this was the first year of this release. I had that other purple one that I showed you, but the yellow one is the first year design. I'd say that's a $15 to $20 car as well. Now we're talking, just a reminder, this is Canadian dollars, so it would be different for US. This one's really cool. This is the Peugeot 205 Rally. It has a little mark on the kind of the side of the door here and on the hatch at the back, a little tiny mark, which may not even be damaged. That could be like a paint defect. It could be a chip. But overall, in really, really nice condition. There aren't a lot of these out there that look this good. I would put this at like a $40 or $50 car. The Lamborghini Countach. I have this one. Again, like the limousine, I scraped the sides off of it and just made it all white. So it's good to have another one that looks as good as this one. And then this one I've never even seen before. I didn't even know this existed before I got it. It's called the Tricar X8. This one's in yellow with some purple accents. Overall, really nice shape. This one's like a couple dollars. Like there's not a lot of value in this one, but I'm glad I have it because I didn't even know it existed and I've never owned it before. So, okay, we're almost done. We're going to move on to some weird ones that I've never owned, and then we'll wrap it up. Okay, so this line in front of me is called the Super California Customs. And yes, every time I say that, in the back of my head, I'm saying Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, but it's not. Super California Customs. These were from 1991. There were definitely more than just these ones, but these are the 6 that I got. We've got Bodacious, or Bodacious, or Bodacious. Race Ace. Cool Duel. Catalina Cruz. Jack Flash. And Mean Machine. They're all in bright California colors, kind of like the regular California Custom series. What makes these ones extra odd and unique are these mechanisms underneath that you could remove the outer tire to be back to a normal tire, and then you push it in and it looks like a normal vehicle, and then you pop it out, just pull it. It makes the engine pop up a bit, and then it's like this huge rear-wheeled, rear-tired truck. Now, all of them do that. They all can have the tires removed, which I'm always afraid I'm going to rip it off, and then pops that down. They come with a bunch of accessories in the package. There's like ramps and things. I have all those. They came with them. They were in the bag. So at first I didn't know what these were for, but I think it's kind of like so you can like stand them on there and they look pretty level. I think that's kind of the point. But it's nice to have kind of those accessories that are probably usually lost with them. Even on the lower end, if I did 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, $120 with the $75 I paid, again, just that group, make a bit of a profit just off of that alone. All right, and last but not least, a line that I absolutely loved as a kid was the Trail Busters line. So first here we've got the Jeep Scrambler. This one I thought looked like it was like from the late 90s or early 2000s. It kind of like stuck out to me, other than obviously the wheels are the older ones. But this one says it's from 1987. So it just has kind of a more modern Hot Wheels look to me. I don't know. But it's in really great shape, and that kind of might throw me off as well, just because when they're so clean, they don't look that old. Tall Rider, that's also from 1987. It's in really good shape. It says online that its color is Zamac, which I guess it could be, but it looks more painted to me. So I don't know. It's a little bit confusing, but it's what it is. We've got Gulch Stepper, which is like this off-road car. It's got like a little spare tire here, which is kind of interesting because that's where the engine's supposed to be, but that's where the spare tire is. And there's no space for an engine in the back because it's a tiny little like truck bed. Funny little car. Still really, really cool. Fun to drive in the dirt and in the grass. Now I have a few of these. This just says Blazin' Bug on the side. This was the Baja Bug. It's like a lifted with fat tire Beetle. This one's in really nice shape. I have another one that's in really good shape. I might even have one still on the card, and then I have one that's really beaten up that I played with a lot. Usually this got really scratched up on top because it would be up against other cars and stuff like that because it stuck out. Or the Nissan Hardbody. This has been released in a ton of different styles as well. Wasn't a huge fan of this giant engine in the back. I wish they would have just left it as a truck bed. I would just pretend actually that it was carrying the engine around instead of it being the actual engine of the truck. But still a really cool paint job, that red, white, and blue. Last car on the whole lot is from 1989. It's the Ford Bronco four-wheeler. I think it was just called Bronco four-wheeler. This one just has a really cool, simple flame and stripe Ford Tough, built Ford Tough decals on it. It's got the red dirt bike or motorcycle on the back there. I have a few of these different colors from over the years. This one's probably one of the cleaner ones that I have, and just think it is absolutely beautiful. So all in, if I were to price all of this out, yeah, we're looking at probably about $1,000 Canadian worth of cars here, of which I paid $75 for. So I was super excited to go through these and price them out and look them up and learn about when they came out and all the different variations of them. I'm going to be adding these to the collection. I just love to know if there are any of these cars that stood out as maybe some of your favorites from when you were a kid, or ones that you've collected and kept along the way. Maybe there are one or two in here that you've seen but haven't been this clean, and so it's kind of cool to see it in mint condition. I'd love for you to tell a story or comment below, and please feel free to subscribe. And I just love talking about this vintage stuff. So have a good one, and I'll see you on the next one.